Firstly, I'd say always be focused on the big picture and be values driven around education. It's important to progress your career building and implementing the kind of education we want for our nation and for the world, because education changes lives. And I think sometimes if you keep focused on that big picture, it helps you navigate your way through the granularity of some of the issues that can come across the daily workload, which can be sometimes a little distracting, and they are important and they need to be dealt with. So first of all, I would always say be values driven, always focus on the big picture. Second, and equally important and related to my first point, is always read the play as well. So read broadly, stay connected, look, think strategically about what are the big issues where government, education leaders and industry are aligned, because the things that are important to those groups, and particularly the things they have in common, will be the issues wherein you can find opportunities to make changes towards the kind of education that you would like to see occur. So again, number one, be values driven. Number two, read the play. And thirdly, I would also say, and it comes down to sheer hard work, always try and do the detail. Read everything, try and read every word, be very focused. The most successful women I've worked with are very, very hard workers. Plus, make sure things are written down yourself. If you've got a project, a submission, a proposal, a plan, make sure it's clearly articulated and linked to the evidence. The evidence base is key, including not just data, but research outcomes, literature. There is a field. Always mount your argument and your proposal building on that evidence. So in short, focus on the big educational picture. Read the play and align your opportunities with that, and then do the detail and be very evidence-based. I've learnt many important lessons, often because I haven't been successful sometimes, and that's when you do learn. The one I will pick on, though, is I would summarise this way. What I say to people is not necessarily what they hear. And just because I've told people, don't assume they've heard, they've understood, or they don't need to be reminded again. So I would say, if you're going to lead educational change and innovation in any sector, have a clearly articulated message and be prepared to be endlessly patient and repeat that message as many times as the various stakeholders need to hear it, filter it, understand it, question it, query it. It's very easy to say, it's hard to do. It can be difficult to be patient, but it's very important to let people hear, be heard, be able to contribute to defining and refining that message, and let them hear it again as often as they need. I wouldn't do anything differently. It would be fair to say I didn't have much of a plan. I started out being a teacher, partly primary, partly secondary, and eventually I went to work in tertiary education. And I didn't start in a university as a teaching staff member when I was particularly young. So it looks like there wasn't much of a plan there. And in some ways there wasn't, but in my heart I've always remained an educator. So I don't think I would do anything differently, but I guess if I had the wisdom of hindsight, I would try to keep my eyes on the big picture all the way through that journey and realise that a big picture was going to emerge where I could have a leadership position where I could help lots of people to make changes around education. So in short, I don't think I'd want to start again, thank you. And if I did, I think I would just let life evolve and then learn the lessons through experience as I went along and try to share them also with others and bring them along the journey with me.